A lot of fighting tools on the side of Damwon Gaming, a lot of range on the side of G2 Esports. That Ezreal maybe not going to be able to push as well early on, but certainly will be tough to deal with as we move later and later into the game.
It's very well-rounded. It has some good places to play around in the early game, as well as some great hyper-scaling side lane team fight. I think it's got it almost all.
Pretty much. Keeping our eyes, of course, on this level 1 for now. Maybe anticipating Wonder to step forward, but G2 playing the back foot on this one, do not want to risk anything, so they're going to go for the standard 5-point here. As much vision as possible with as little risk as possible.
Big Fiora player, Dracos?
No. Although I have heard Cadril talk many times about he's the greatest Chinese Super Server Fiora player of all time, usually before he goes 0-6. Nagari, on the other hand, might be one of the greatest Super Server Fiora players. Would not surprise me. The man is an absolute menace. And this is the thing that I really like Frostgren, is that Nagari is the guy who, I think when you look at Damwon's evolution as a team, he is like the clearest indicator of that evolution, because he was Cole Klepto every game, no matter what, forever last season. And now he's willing to step back. He's willing to play.
I don't know if the Fiora pick is where you want to make that message, Dracos.
No, for sure. No, but that's my point, is that while he can take a step back, while he can play more for the team and less for himself, he's also been very explicit about saying, hey, look, I still have in my heart a place for those aggressive playmakers, for these big plays, for these big carry performances. And I'm glad that we're going to get to see both sides of Nagari in this series, because on this Fiora, you kind of have to play for yourself. This is about the 1v1.
Both of them obviously taking grasp and just trying to trade the procs back and forth. I do want to talk about Kindred, though. Yanko showed that his mark was Silas. Obviously, you have setup and CC in the form of the gold card from Caps. It usually has been about Caps, so we may even see a very early gank from Yankos to try to make good on that mark and set up with that gold card. So it is a lot of back and forth, as you can see, very small trades and kind of repeated small trades from the Camille and the Fiora.
It looks like 3 camps on the bottom side for Kindred, 2 camps on the bottom side for Graves as he moves to top side.
Reminder that Kindred's mark will spawn on one of the scuttle crabs, so having priority in these lanes is actually really important. It is RNG, so we don't know if it's going to be top scuttle or bot scuttle. Frankly, though, while Yankos does have priority in mid lane, he doesn't have priority anywhere else, so it might be difficult to acquire one of these crabs, although he is set up for top crab.
Is and has the vision to back him up as well. Beryl getting aggressive on the bottom side. One of the struggles, of course, playing instead is that he has so much pseudo-tankiness. As a Juggernaut, he just gets so many stats for free. Showmaker, though, getting very aggressive on the Caps, taking a lot of minion aggro back, but Caps extending the trade there to try to get the better of it. Showmaker, though, not afraid to play aggressive, just trade a little bit of health here.
Yeah, and that health advantage will give Caps a lot of control over this lane. Yankos is hovering around Caps, trying to protect him as he now sees Canyon on the other side of this wall with a ward. And again, is playing for that crab, and the mark is going to be bot side. So Yankos handshakes with Canyon. Canyon will get top side crab with priority from Nagari, even though Caps has got Showmaker underneath his tower. And Yankos will take bot crab. That was cute.
Yeah, good sidestep on the chains there. Obviously, would have been much more difficult. Keep our eyes on this mid lane matchup as we go further. For now, kind of going as expected. TF getting the better in a lot of these trades, maximizing the extra mana from the Corrupting Potion as much as he can. And Yankos, while he will be able to grab this one, they know exactly where he is, and Barrel's going to outmaneuver around the play, force the early flash. No option there for Caps. If he is able to flash in, Caps is going to get locked up, so just has to go for the early one. And now Yankos trying to trade back onto Beryl. Definitely favored in this one. Big haymaker now coming in as Caps walks forward. That's going to be the flash taken away. Third stack on the Mounting Dread will not connect, so Beryl walking away, but does give up a lot for that play.
Yeah, and if you guys don't play Kindred, obviously what you want to do is set down your W and then use your E right after your Q, so you can try to proc that as quickly as possible, as now Wonder taking huge amounts of chunk damage, and you can try to catch people off by, like you said, getting that proc on the Mounting Dread and chunking them out, but flash comes out for Beryl, which is obviously very important for Set, who's reliant on flash for positioning. Now a dive.
What are they going to go for it, though? Are they just going to play for pressure here? Obviously, the threat is real, but very, very difficult to dive a Set at this point in the game. You've taken his flash, but as long as he has Haymaker up and available, is a very tanky champion, especially with the Aftershock, so they will pull away. But in the meantime, Yankos praying to the RNG gods, and the RNG gods answer as the Raptor Cap is respawning, and he's going to be right there in time to grab his second mark of the game before 5 minutes. That said, Perks now has to run for his life to flash forward. Oh, he's getting run down. Ghost waiting on the volley, instead going to turn for Mickey, trying to save Barrel's life. Does not want to trade it back. Perks going in, though. Has the heal. Ghost going to go for 1. Ghost now going to fish for 2. Leona's strong, but is she strong enough? Fighting in the creep wave as well. Hits the Zenith Blade just barely. That's the stun. That's the cleanse. And oh, doesn't it feel good to be an 80 carry in 2020? Bye-bye, Ghosts.
Ultimately the outplay as Mickey gets some revenge. He's like, see, I could play Leona too. I'm going to say a little bit questionable in some of those hitboxes. That was like a 180 no-scope from Leona on the Zenith Blade. Woo!
wide hitbox.
Yeah, apparently.
There it is.
Ash needs to, I don't know, maybe slim down some.
And already we're starting to see an uptick in the performance from G2 here in the early game. 1,000 gold advantage coming across. Some of that's going to be in the mid lane, where of course Caps has a bit of a CS gap over Showmaker, but also the 2 kills on the bottom side. But if you're DWG Gaming, I don't think you have to be scared, because most of that gold belongs to Leona. And while Leona certainly will have Swifties, will be a bit more of a terror on the map, and could be a terror in the top lane, it's not more damage items at this point.
No, but like you said, Swifties and impacting map state, and so far we've seen the handshake over Leona's. As it's not Beryl this time around, it is Mickey setting up for a gank on Nagari here. He goes in.
Go forward. Where's the riposte going to go?
No flash.
Waiting on the hard CC. That's going to be the Hextech ultimatum. Very well timed. He's going to get the lock of Nagari, trying to go for the outplay, but there's just too many resources spent top lane. Clean from G2 Esports.
Yeah, no flash on the Leona is what I meant to say there. So really nice to set up the CC before Mickey threw out the Zenith Blade to make sure that they chain CC on Nagari and really punish him. You can see that Canyon is going to be the beneficiary here, picking up a lot of this CS, now hitting level 6, but this is obviously going to hurt your Fiora when you die, when you don't have teleport, when you lose, I don't know, a wave and a half of EXP and gold.
And of course, Fiora is the absolute side lane terror. We talk about 2 items on Fiora where she really just starts to become this unkillable 1v1 juggernaut. But when you look at relative utility, Camille is that, you know, the middle child of split pushers and team fighters. And she does provide a little bit more with the hook shot, with the Hextech ultimatum. She is a little bit more reliable, so to get Wunder ahead or to find Wunder small advantages here so we can potentially impact the map more is a big deal for G2 Esports, as they're holding on to this 1K gold lead. Showmaker will use the stolen ult just to return to lane, fake teleport basically, so holds on to the actual global for when he needs it next.
And now we kind of go back to farming. I do want to talk his pocket, as well as the fact that we're starting to see, you know, why Perks prioritize something like the Ezreal as opposed to the Misfortune, as it seems to be about unlocking Mickey and having him team up with Jankos and then leaving Perks on an island. You know, in the first game it was the Lucian, this time that can 1v2 pretty safely and effectively.
Yeah, because when you look at Set, obviously if you're ever close to him, he's a champion that feels like he does way too much. But when you're an Ezreal, you just never let him get close, and it's not really a problem. You have Flash, you have the shift, you can make it out pretty easily. Pressure though on the top side is Wunder's going to be forced to catch this wave. Let's see if any vision gets laid down here by Nagari, what he's going to actually do with his top side advantage.
We do need to talk about the difference in the jungle, because we are talking about kind of the differences of where lane advantages are, but it's level 7 to Yanko now taking over into level 6. And obviously that helps with Canyon, you know, picking up some solo farm on the top side of the map, but also just the fact that Jankos has been ganking a lot more lanes and paying attention, whereas Canyon, with this level advantage and Nagari having the push priority on top side, it does mean a very early Herald, 8 minutes and 22 seconds on the clock. For Canyon, I would expect that get, but you could also look to put it into Silas. So really good options and setup for Canyon, however he wants to use this.
Yeah, and when we look at the map, 1,000 gold lead's going to stand out to you, 1 kills to 3, but it's important to remember that Graves was top to pick up all that farm. Graves just got a Herald, which I gold out a little bit, and a lot of the gold from G2 right now is in the pockets of Mickey. He's making good on that, he's spreading that gold around, but G2 are not quite in the lead that the scoreboard might indicate. Mickey, he's making good on that, he's spreading that gold around, but G2 are not quite in the lead that the scoreboard might indicate.
I do want to point out the slow push that Wunder is creating here. Now, Showmaker has picked up the blue and Caps has disappeared in the fog of war, and with this slow push, you can see that Caps was cheating up towards the top side, and they were threatening to see if Nagari forward, or even possibly threatening a dive as Mickey goes in.
Let's be careful here, only level 5 for Beryl, really trying to capitalize on the level discrepancy here in the bottom lane. Level 6 ticks over, that play is really no longer possible as Beryl can just dunk you right back under the tower, but looking for that small window of opportunity, just trading aggressive so Perks can get priority here on the wave. But you can see Ghost fighting back. He doesn't want the freeze, he doesn't want anything else. He wants to make sure that G cannot back in this lane.
Yeah, trying to reset themselves, and actually with Canyon getting back onto the map, Domwon could actually have tempo to take the Mountain Dragon as well as deny this mark. You can see the immediate pings as they see that the mark is on bot side scuttle. Ghost is going to go ahead and bounce this wave off of tower as Beryl ducks in for deep vision and denies Blast Cone. And yeah, it's going to be a denied mark as well as a Dragon setup. He didn't want it.
Yeah. Jankos, you can tell, kind of thinking about going to contest for that, starting to walk down on the opposite side, but instead just settles for the Gromp. Giving up that mark isn't going to feel too good, but it won't matter too much at this stage of the game. Obviously, 4 is the break point that you're looking for on the Kindred. An extra 75 range is a big deal, especially against so many short players on the side of DWG Gaming. But Mickey getting to the jungle, getting a little bit aggressive here. Potentially just going to be the free Mountain Drake. DWG Gaming don't look like they want to contest, but they do have a Herald that they can utilize mid lane if they want to.
I mean, they pushed mid priority, then Domwon are now walking in. Caps, you can see, is catching the mid wave. It does mean that the Dragon is still relatively low health, so Damwon being behind the play if they wanted to contest it, but it's not crucial. Like you said, first Mountain Dragon doesn't really mean anything. Canyon continuing to hold the CS and experience lead over Yanko 78-68, level 8 to level 7. So Damwon are not sweating right now, although it is a much better early game than we saw the first time.
Big arrow coming out. Graves is on the way in. Mickey, that's definitely not what you wanted to do. The re-engage now coming up, but Canyon is there for the backup. They knew it was the only play left, and now they're trying to punish it. Dash forward. Mickey running for his
Wall
life.
bounce.
One arrow. Waiting on it. Where's the ult going to go? Already the damage has all been used, though, so Mickey just barely able to escape on that one. Canyon immediately going to throw down the Herald here. This should be bot lane tower taken off the map, and Damwon evening up the gold.
Yeah, and I expected that the Herald would either go mid or top lane, but instead, again, the dominance from Ghost and Barrel sees an opportunity to set up a potential gank bot side and then also shove down the first tower. Now, Caps is racing bot side here with Yankos, but you can see the danger pings come on. Damwon knows what's up, and they do have TP about to come up on Nagari as well as on Showmaker.
I can't believe that they didn't get that tower. That's a big deal. That's a lot of gold. That is actually the amount that you would need to even the score out. Now Yanko's moving to the mid lane. Gold card ticked over. The heal to run forward, trying to lock it in, but Showmaker giving it the respect it deserves, backing away. Meanwhile, on top side, Wonder struggling a little bit in this individual 1v1. Tiamat means that Nagari can keep the pressure up, but it does not mean that he can generate a man advantage here. Barrel ults coming out everywhere. We're taking our eyes on all sides of the map, but now stolen Kindred ult coming in. Showmaker trying to buy as much time as he possibly can. Trying to get one more mark for Yanko. Showmaker just barely making it out. In the meantime, Nagari is going to go down. Wonder with just a sliver of life left.
And so clutch there from Mickey to interrupt the TP from Showmaker, who was trying to TP top and help out Nagari. So it is a win across map for G2 in both mid and top. Very skirmish, very fast, very roller coaster, as Damwon, again, are not getting kind of the same level of control that we saw in game number 1. This is a much better look if you're a G2 fan, as Mickey now on the offensive.
Ulti. Zenith play for the follow-up. They want to find this kill as quickly as they can. A good smoke screen, though. Going to buy some time for Canyon. Barrel going to try to body block the base breaker back, but now Barrel's in the midst of everybody. It's going to be more than healthy enough to walk away from this one, but now Nagari's on the way in. Oh, a few kills going to this pocket of the Fiora could be disaster, but G2 will walk away, and this is very much kind of the G2 that we expected, taking control early game and upping the pace with a lot of these aggressive moves.
Yeah, again, shout out to Mickey right there to set that up. Beautifully done. Obviously, it's pretty common setup with the long-range Leona ultimate because it has the longest range of any of your abilities. Then into the Zenith Blade. You chain Zenith Blade immediately into the Daybreak from the Q, and you basically keep someone locked there for 20 years.
Yeah. Meanwhile, on the top side, Wonder's got to be careful here. Not sure what the cooldown is on the hookshot wall dive. Can make it out to safety, trying to sidestep there. We'll get one, but the phase breaker comes back. Dodges that as well. Sadly, it's too little, too late. And he's going to make it out to safety. We're not going to make that safety.
Damwon do now have access into this top lane if they do want to try to pressure for plates, but they recognize that G2 could pressure very heavy into the mid lane, so don't even take plates, just deny the wave into tower for Wonder. Again, dead, no teleport, and instead reset possibly to defend mid. This is what we were talking about earlier. It's the fact that Showmaker's TP was interrupted by Mickey catching him into the mid lane with Yankos, and then means that Nagari is in a true 2v1 scenario.
Ugh.
Tries his absolute hardest, and that's unfortunate.
And
wow,
it's dangerously close to doing so. Apparently this happened too. It's hard to catch every bit of action on the map, but
styled on.
Absolutely styled on. We're short one FBX and or IG emote before it was total BM, but well played by the side of Ghost. He obviously does not have the same personal baggage that the rest of Damwon had here. Last year it was a different player in the bottom lane.
He's like, guys, I'm just here, like, come on.
Like, please leave me out of your blood feud. I don't want anything to do with
it's
this.
Saturday, I'm here to win.
Like, please stop diving me. 1.5 item Ezreal. Well, right now, those plays are going to matter a lot. Right now we're looking at tower play. It's obviously in favor of Damwon, but the gold is essentially evened up. Mountain Drake really the only large advantage that G2 have held on to. Important to note that no towers have fallen, so there is some standing gold left over for G2 to pick up if they can eventually break bot. As now Mickey gonna dash forward, gonna aim to go in on Ghost, but a clean sidestep to get things started. A stolen Leona ultimate to get kicked off again, and now Canyon's on the way in too. Mickey's going to be in trouble. Big haymaker, Kindred ult to buy a bit more space. Barrel stepping forward. What's he gonna go for? Big ult, big dunk back down, but they stun in midair. They deny the ult, and here comes Wonder. Here comes the potential clapback for G2, but Damwon Gaming staying strong as 3, trying to hold it forward. Quick dash out to deny the gold card from Canyon. The rest of G2 now pulling back.
Yeah, 4v5, because check out what's happening at the top lane. Nagari takes the entire top lane tower, and G2 have to go deep for this to make it count.
Here we go. Red card, though. Maybe not exactly what they wanted. This AoE slow, though, going to be big. Showmaker continuing to step forward. That's going to be the stun. That's going to be Showmaker going down, and a mark going over to Yankos.
Watch out for Nagari.
Oh no.
He's on the flank.
Yanko stepping forward. Oh, they're playing very respectfully. Blue Trinket coming out as well. They're going to start Nagari walking forward. But as all of G2 are forced to back off here, they're going to have to leave someone to clear the wave. They will do so. Perk's going to stick around just to make sure that the Down One cannot get a tower on the backside of that trade.
Yeah, but now Down One gets to kind of pick what they do want. And it's either the Ocean Drake or it is the Herald. I agree with them. I think the Herald is more important here. Can help you break down that mid lane tower and, again, continue to open up a map when you're playing side lanes with your Fiora and you do have access to global ultimates with Sylas, like the Destiny, excuse me, I should say semi-global. But it is a Dragon for Herald trade, and ultimately G2 kind of got the better of Down One in the mid lane skirmish, but I actually think it's pretty negligible when you take into account how much gold experience that Fiora got, as well as what Down One could get on the back half of this Herald play.
It's also an absolute mess. So many resources burned. I mean, the good news is the mark for Yankos, right? Like, that's kind of, it feels to me like the silver lining for that play, but you're using your flash from caps. It's a bit all over the place, but, you know, get a little bit of good news here as, boom, big shutdown onto Perkovic. 2-2-2. Now has the Iceborne Gauntlet. And we talked about this being a relatively short-range comp, so Iceborne Gauntlet makes a lot of sense. And these fights are going to be difficult to play out for Canyon, for Nagari, for Beryl, if they cannot find a good angle on these team fights.
Yeah, but now you have kind of the same play again as Wonder's trying to slip into the top side brush right there, spotted out very cleverly by a ward that I believe Ghost placed.
4 marks now for Kindred as well.
No, I think it was Beryl. I was like, does Ghost have yellow trinket? Had to check. No, blue trinket.
Nope. Frostgren.
Yeah.
This game, a little bit more, I feel like G2 showing what they're made of, but still very much more explosive than what we've seen from Down One for most of this tournament. Down One Gaming have been, I'm not going to say a chill team, but have been a little bit more calm, a little bit more collected across the tournament so far. But obviously when G2 start the fights, Down One kind of have to respond. And now we see the Herald use mid. They're looking to break this one down. Perk's laying down some poke damage just so Down One don't kill tower here, but not enough to finish the job, and G2 just instantly take that one.
And it's Down One just using the fact that they have first movement on Nagari. You can see that Wonder has caught the wave up to the top side, and that may even be providing a freeze. It feels like a fist fight in the mid lane now as Mickey is really fishing. Needs to be careful. Ghost has arrow.
Big arrow flashback. It's going to hit Perks instead. Definitely not the target that they wanted. Looking for the opportunity, but he's stunned as well. Now they're trying to lock up Beryl. Big haymaker to come out, and they take him down as well. Beryl a bit over aggressive and immediately punished. He had the highlight reel play in his head. He was going to dunk Perks right back into his own team, but the CC is there to stop him.
That CC was so critical there, and this is what G2 were missing in the first game against Down One. They were not up to par with the mechanical ability. Down One were outplaying them. This time around, G2 are looking much cleaner, and it is coming down to a knife's edge of, you know, did the CC go off? It was a milliseconds, frankly, there. Beryl, like you said, saw his highlight.
Gold card, boop.
He was in there. He was going to get a massive face breaker. He could have then grabbed whoever he wanted, flipped them back in. Would have been stylish, but the gold card just slaps him right in the face.
Yeah, and that's part of the reason why we just see TF so much, is the gold card is just such a strong ability. But hold that thought, because Yankos is going to be the one who's in trouble now. Forced to use the ultimate pretty early into this fight, but Canyon's zoned away. Yankos does do a lot of damage here with the Storm Razor. Debating on his options there. Stolen ult coming out. Ooh, the shutdown as well. Hit him with the hose. Caps holding on in the circle, holding on as long as he can. Showmaker going into a big heal, and that's going to be it. Mickey now caught in the midst of the entire team of Down One. 3 members strong here. Just looking to run this Leona down. Facebreaker won't connect, but Showmaker sure will, and that's going to be it.
Yeah, and there's no response from G2. Look at Fiora. Fiora just pushed another wave. She's now going to smash this wave into the tower, get a couple of good shots there. You now have 3 kills as Mickey basically went in to try to save his team, and it was just lemmings running off of the cliff there as G2 fed away 3 kills as well as big gold to Showmaker. Very different performance from Sylas game 1 to game 2. Showmaker 3-1-1 on this champion.
And it feels like that's a little bit of the difference in how both of these teams want to play the game. A lot more high-risk play coming here for G2, and quite frankly, caught out a little bit. Yanko's obviously fine in the individual 1v1.
I feel like he didn't get his ult. No, he didn't. He made the mistake. So he cues out of his ult, then tries to walk back in it. Doesn't get the health from the Lamb's Respite, and then Showmaker's like, easy, mate. Hits him with the fadeaway hose, grabs the Lamb's Respite, then uses it to go all in on Caps. And at this point, Mickey, he's in the Zenith Blade. He's like, I've made a terrible mistake.
Yeah. Thought he could maybe save the day, but again, you cannot make small mistakes in this matchup. Costs pretty dearly. G2, not confident enough to stay for any damage on the tower. Just going to push in and wait to see what's going to happen next. 20 minutes into the game, so the Baron has spawned. Neither team too keen to get that one started off, but both with more than enough damage to do it if they want to.
So G2 don't have a single tower to their name, and without Herald, it's going to be pretty difficult to crack these towers, especially with the wave clear that Ghost is going to provide on this Ashe. So they need to make picks around this mid lane and then use a numbers advantage to kind of overwhelm and siege a tower, or they need to have 2 waves that are syncing, pushing together, and then like you see what they're doing where they shove a wave and then they kind of sprint to a side map to try to dissuade Damwon with a potential dive. But Damwon could actually just hold like this, and as long as they have proper vision on their flanks and don't, or are aware that G2 are trying to pick them off right now with Leona, can continue to kind of win across the map or funnel gold into the necessary hyper carries like the Fiora.
And it's interesting because right now as well, while we're seeing pretty even 4v4 here on the bottom side of the map, you've got top laners just in complete and total isolation. You have to feel the later we go, the more this is going to favor Nagri in the 1v1. He's on his way to the Trinity Force.
Look at his CS lead.
Yeah, he's already 40 CS up. I mean, this is looking really solid for him. Yeah, he can't pressure the tower too much, but in these trades, he's going to be fine. There's no real kill pressure. The full all-in is such a mess. Neither side really wants to go for it. Canyon, though, going to take a decent chunk to kick things off. G2, important to note, this will put them at sole point, and that is something that they can fight for. That is something that they can play for that will force Nagri out of a side lane. So getting that Drake is crucial.
And this is kind of, like you're saying, the one silver lining that G2 still have as their clear win condition this game is now Caps going topside, but here comes Showmaker.
TP respond. Ulti coming in, but they're just going to walk away. They don't have to commit anything else for that, and that's overall a good trade for G2.
Yep. Getting the ultimate off of Showmaker, like you said, trading for Destiny, you're going to take that any day of the week, but the towers still remain here. So G2 still looking for a pick, still looking for kind of a big team fight while Damwon will be patient. They've now swapped Nagari down towards the bot side of the map so he can start threatening the inner bot side tower while Baron is in place since Dragon is down.
Makes a lot of sense. And checking in anonymization as well, it was the Iceborne Gauntlet, it's fully stacked Muramana now, as well as the Quicksilver Sash. So Perkz is going to be nigh untouchable in a lot of these fights, unless they can just absolutely one-tap him. He has to completely mince position, really, to die in these fights or play way too aggressive. So he's in a solid spot. Probably will not have the same damage output as an Ashe in a sustained team fight right now. Might change once he gets third item. We'll see if it's going to be the Blade of the Rune King or the Death Stance. But Nagari now getting aggressive onto Caps. Stun's going to come out, dash forward, as well as the riposte, but the TP now burned here
Damwon should all run top.
Riposte is down, though. They can go for the stun. Hookshot wall dive. They're just kind of baiting here. Meanwhile, Showmaker can push in and can trade, or try to trade 1-for-1 on the towers. It's a split map play. Wonder going to try to shred this one down. Precision Protocol should make this pretty quick, but Cap showing that he's walking away means Nagari can walk right back into this lane.
Tower still hasn't fallen yet for Damwon, but they're denying so much wave, and it should eventually fall. It's probably very low health as Nagari flashes.
Oh, the stolen ultimate coming in as well. Cap's though back on the way in, wants to use it. Wonder now has to run for the hills, has to be careful. Nagari now stepping in. This Fiora is so incredibly strong. 2 items, dash through, no riposte available, and that means he's going to be in trouble. Shut down onto Nagari, massive for G2. What can Damwon do on the top side of the map?
Nagari just steps forward as G2 stay around, and like you said, what can Damwon get on the top side of the map? The top tower does fall. That mid tower is a stiff breeze from being knocked over. So still, in terms of gold, G2 have a slight edge, but there's a lot of freestanding gold available for Damwon to take that right back.
And we've yet to really see a full-on 5v5. We've seen a lot of 3v3 skirmishes, and we've seen a lot of these 2v1 side lane plays, but neither team seems too keen to fight yet. That might change in 2 minutes and 45 seconds when the next Infernal spawns.
I do want to talk about the fact that you don't have TP right now on your Camille, where you do have it in your Fiora. Now, it would be difficult to execute, but there is a position here where Nagari can run down bot lane, or Showmaker if he wants to have the Destiny, and you could try to play cross-map by stretching out Camille, since Twisted Fate will have to match you there and try to like abuse in lane assignments while Camille is waiting for that TP. But because Infernal Drake and an Infernal Soul is coming up in 2 minutes, G2 might not be punished for it as heavily, since they'll want to be playing bot side anyway.
It's important to note as well that through all of this, Caps managed to hold on to his TP too, so there is a decent global advantage. Of course, Nagari does have teleport, but the Fiora teleport significantly less menacing, as she packs no innate CC, even if she is an absolute monster to deal with in small skirmishes. Perkz, though, continuing to push in.
You were talking about how he's basically unkillable, that there's no like snap threat. You know, there's no go snap grabs Perkz with an Ashe arrow into multiple pieces of CC, because he does have the QSS to deny or contest G2 on this wave. Now, Damwon are trying.
Stolen Leona ultimate. Are they going to follow up with any more CC? Kind of just testing the waters, it looks like. Fishing for an opportunity, not wanting to overcommit here. And this is the stiff breeze you were talking about. One auto should kill the tower. Heck, minions might even do it. One more. Boom, there it goes. Ghost going to grab it.
But that tower doesn't necessarily really mean anything to G2, because again, the The thing is the tower is there because it helps you contest on mid priority, which gives you access into the river. But because of Perks' itemization and how slippery he is as an Ezreal, he can still do that relatively well. Unless he doesn't have something like Flash, then it gets a little bit more dangerous. And you can see Perks stepping super forward as here comes Caps.
Very aggressive. If they kill Canyon, this is pretty massive, but Ghost has been isolated off to the side. Caps does not have the sustained damage to take this fight, but the Flash taking him to safety. The team play there from G2 saves the day. The Hextech ultimatum stolen away. Caps now stepping forward. Showmaker going to be in trouble. Tries to go back in. Is untouchable for now, but the Hextech ultimatum not enough to save his life. As now Barrel has been caught out too. G2 on the chase, trying to keep Barrel out of this one. What are they actually going to get off the back of this, though? For now, it is just kills. Ulti in the mid lane.
Ghost is trying to eat the wave. Here comes Wonder.
Oh, Nagari locked up, taken down big for G2. This fight around the enemy blue buff has bought them everything that they need to start up this Baron.
And this is the thing, again, that mid lane tower didn't mean anything for G2. They could always still contest on that wave. Damwon didn't think that they would do it, and G2 called their bluff. They spent multiple ultimates, multiple pieces of CC, and snag Damwon right in front of the Baron. This is a huge swing for them.
Wonder going to go forward, is going to get dunked right back down, but is pretty tanky at this stage of the game. Ghost's going to try to finish the job, though, because this is massive. They've taken the Baron, they can turn right to Soul. This is everything for G2. The TP now coming in, but it might be too little too late. He can't cancel that one. Showmaker on the way in. He takes the Leona. There's a potential here for a massive turn, but it looks like it might not matter because the Zenith Blade connects. Caps is on the way in. He tries to get it. Showmaker trying to turn it right back around. That's the shutdown onto Caps, but it isn't enough. No, G2 stands strong. They take down Showmaker, and they set their eyes on the Infernal and Canyon. Dashes in, dashes out, gets down the control ward, but it's going to take a miracle steal and a flank from Nagari to turn this one back.
Here comes Nagari. Canyon does have Flash as well. Smite available.
Infernal Soul will go down. Canyon has gone down. Nagari has to run for the hills. He has one riposte and has to block everything from G2 if he wants to survive this one. Blast cone's there. He should be able to make it out to safety. Hook shot, wall dive to take him out. Dash to the side. They're now chasing him down, but that's going to do it. That's going to be it. Perks now dominating. Massive lead for G2 Esports.
Infernal Soul, Baron buff, multiple shutdowns now picked up for G2. You said it. This is massive for them, and it starts with this pick onto the mid lane. The control ward was not going to save Canyon. The Destiny comes in, the smooth flash over the wall into the Lamb's Respite. Even if he didn't flash, maybe because of Jankos' placement, it still might have caught him there, but flashes for good measure anyway, and just such critical and important picks. And this is what G2 fans want to see from this team. High agency on a lot of their members, the ability to play individually and then have that incredible synergy, and the fact that all of these champions have forms of CC, have forms of escape, get to unlock these superstars to do what they want. Now, that said, when I called game one over, when Damwon just absolutely smashed G2, I still think that there's opportunity here that Damwon have. It's not as a foregone conclusion as game was for Damwon as it is for Damwon versus G2 in this matchup.
Absolutely still some room to outplay. They're not as catastrophically behind. Of course, it is about surviving this Baron. And the Red Bull Baron power play, a minute left, already 4,000 gold for G2. They didn't take a lot of towers earlier on in the game, but they can certainly take a lot of them now. That's going to be tier 2 in the bot lane taken out. Tier 1 mid next to fall. Caps and Wonder press forward. Damwon backing off, knowing that they just have to concede these objectives, that they can't afford to pick a fight around this.
Like you said, it's about surviving. 2 waves crashing for G2 in mid and bot. Nagari doesn't have TP, so he's actually just going to try to trade probably inhib for inhib. So Damwon just actually want to try to see if G2 will go away after this one, which you do see the back coming in for Wonder. He does have TP, or if Mickey will turn and G2 will step.
Yeah, Perks just going to shift back over the wall. Caps going forward with the gold card. Big damage onto Barrel. You get a lot of stats for free earlier on in the game, but that does get weaker as we go forward if he doesn't actually have any form of gold income.
I mean, forget Bale right now. Did you see what that Ezreal ultimate just did to Canyon?
Yeah, it's pretty devastating.
It half-healthed him.
Perks is a strong boy. Caps, though, is going to need a body block here. Showmaker trying to play around this one. Caps caught out 4 now, but who's caught who now? As the TPs are coming in, that's going to be the red card, just trying to slow any kind of advance here. The pullback, big from Barrel. Dunk back down, trying to make it out. That's a haymaker. It's a decent amount of damage, but it's not nearly enough. They're now getting collapsed on. Fiora still just farming in the top lane, and Perks flashing forward, will not connect. Nice bit of emote usage there on the backside, but G2 take that fight, and it looks like they're going to take their second inhibitor.
Yeah, and there's no TP for Nagari, so what he did is he tried to burn Wonder down as much as he could, actually just standing on top of the Camille and slapping him while the teleport was coming through. But again, G2 pushing, have now 2 inhibs, and actually a lot of restraint coming in. Didn't have vision because Nagari was no longer on a wave, so they have to assume that the reset has come in, and they go ahead and back away.
G2, though, waiting in the darkness, now on the retreat. Showmaker with the stolen Leona ultimate again. Very, very powerful, 0.8 AP ratio. Can do a lot of work here, but Nagari has to now run for the hills. They're just looking for a pick, and they could look to end it here as soon as they kill Nagari. That's exactly what they want, G2. Are you going to bet it all on the 5v4? They've got a wave to back them up. The hook shot, not going to follow up with the wall dive. Damwon Gaming not going to give anything up that they don't have to. Nagari overstepping this game, 0-6-0. Team play Nagari has been looking solid so far this tournament, but complete solo lane isolation Nagari, while he's still doing fine in the 1v1, no one's 1v1ing him. They're dogpiling him at every chance. He doesn't even get to play League of Legends anymore.
Well, I think it's taking advantage over the mentality of, Nagari thought that they had gone. He sees that Elder is going to be spawning in like 2 minutes and 30 seconds. He saw that G2 left the base, and so the assumption is they're resetting and they're going to prepare for Elder, and I need to push this out to get in a position where we can have one last fight around the Elder, and that's probably going to be the last hurrah that Damwon will have available to them. But instead, it's G2 just sitting in a bush looking at him like, you want that farm.
That cannon sure does look juicy. Oh, that's a super minion? How much gold? 90 gold?
I mean,
Ooh.
frankly, at this point, Fiora is a super minion.
That's the struggle. And again, if she's alone in a 1v1 against the Camille, she's not too bad. Obviously, she's in an item deficit now, and there's healing reduction. So yeah, she's probably not winning that one anymore either. But for so long, it felt like Nagari, despite being down in kills, it wasn't the end of the world. Now, though, it really does feel like a death sentence, because Fiora, all she does for your team is damage. She provides no utility, and when you're behind in items, your damage is just strictly worse.
She is looking for the deep flank on Wonder here.
Big arrow. Oh, that was the biggest brain arrow we've seen all tournament. My God, Ghost shut down onto Wonder, and that is certainly a way to put hope back in to the side of Damwon Gaming.
That guy just 3,000 IQ'd him.
My God, Giga Brain.
Get the wall
You've heard
jump
of 5-head? Welcome to 6-head, baby. Ghosts on another level.
It's just another Saturday.
Oh my God.
Okay, Elder is spawning in 44 seconds. Obviously, G2 don't need it to win. It would be nice. And they've got so much vision control. They're doing the classic. They just want Damwon to face check into so many of their pieces of CC.
Yeah.
Ooh, that blue trinket ward.
Gold card. Who's face checking who though? Oh, big Ezreal damage. Showmaker all alone means he takes the full brunt of that assault. And now they're trying for the follow-up. Yanko sleeping forward, and that's going to be it. Showmaker just in the midst of the meat grinder. G2 now pressing forward. Game one, all about Damwon, all about early dominance. Here, G2 keep it scrappy, keep it fresh, turn it all around on a single play around the Baron buff, and now they are just walking their way into victory here as they tear Damwon to pieces.
Much better look from G2 this time around. Damwon was still getting a couple of scrappy fights in there, but just not the same dominant performance that we saw from Nagari. 0-6-1. Obviously, that Fiora is probably not going to come out again, as we've got a serious Dracos.
We absolutely do. Gold card going into G2 looking to return with some BM of their own. They don't have any fancy emotes, but they are more than happy to go for a fancy tower dive. Land's Respite will not give you a respite from the Fountain Laser. G2 going to close this one out with confidence. Game one was all about Damwon Gaming. Game two, much more of a back and forth. But at the end of the day, G2 reigns supreme and tie it up 1-1.